Ndine Domestos, ndipo ndabwera ndithana nanu nditetezana skulu Malawi muno powaziwitsa zoyenera kusata pa ukhondo wa kuchimbudzi, ndipo ndi ndi mangolomera opheratu manjere musa mtundu wina uliwonse. Ndine Domestos, ndipo sindigonjetsedwa.
Do you believe that one day Malawi will be a wealthy nation? Smart men and women who believe in a bright future for Malawi use Kakopay Smart Money to make payments and receive or send money. Do you know that you can pay bills, buy airtime, fuel for your car with Kakopay Smart Money? With Kakopay Smart Money, you can buy groceries in shopping malls and local stores and markets. You can even pay for your vehicle spare parts and many other items in our local markets using Kakopay Smart Money. Welcome to the new Malawi. Welcome to the Malawian dream. Welcome to the future of banking and payments in Malawi. Welcome to Kakopay Smart Money. Dial *3008# and follow instructions. Kakopay Smart Money. The smart money you can trust. Powered by Worthnet Finance Public Limited Company.
Showmax. You've heard the name, but what exactly is Showmax? Well, it's an online streaming service that's packed with the very best in international and local entertainment, ready and waiting for you to watch when you want, where you want. Plus, with 3 data settings and a download option, you also have power to manage your time and your budget. Yeah! So what are you waiting for? Go to showmax.com and sign up today.
Hello and thank you for joining us. This is Sibongile Ziambo with This Week in the News. A look at some of the main top stories. 6 political parties submit requirements to the Registrar of Political Parties as per the new Political Parties Act. Msunda rape survivors compensated over 121.5 million as ordered by the High Court earlier this year. Vice President Dr. Saulos Chilima admits that Malawians are justified to express frustrations over government delays to fulfill its campaign promises. In sports news, Nyasa Big Bullets confirmed that they will participate in this year's Sekafa Kagame Club Championship to be held in Tanzania next month. Now the news in detail. We start with politics because earlier in the week, Zodiak established that only 6 political parties had submitted said requirements by the Registrar of Political Parties to be re-registered as per the new Political Parties Act. In January this year, the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties directed that all political parties should meet the requirements by, among others, amassing 100 signatures from each of the 28 districts by July 16, failing which they will be deregistered. Registrar of Political Parties Chikumbuto Namelo says the office is still verifying submissions made so far. Details in this report by Nafe Mlamba.
Political parties had until July 16 this year to comply with the new Political Parties Act to register their parties. The 16 July deadline was an extension from an earlier deadline of June 30, which was revised after political parties had sought for the extension. Among the requirements, political parties were to collect 100 signatures from each district, or failing which risk being deregistered. According to information we have, only 6 political parties so far met this requirement, and they will be issued a certificate. Registrar of Political Parties Chikumbuso Namero confirmed about the review process of the party registration submissions, but is not disclosing the number of political parties that have complied with the law.
We are verifying their submissions to check for compliance with the Act. If there's information that is missing, there's going to be an interaction now between ourselves as an office and the political parties so that they can comply.
Executive Director for the Center for Multi-Party Democracy, Kizito Tentani, is however calling for thorough review of the submissions.
Because the question really is not about the numbers of political parties, but what they are doing on the ground.
A good number of other political parties have missed the July 16 deadline, and according to the information we have, the Malawi Congress Party, UTM, Democratic Progressive Party, People's Party, AFOD, United Democratic Front are the only 6 parties which have completed their submissions and escaped the deregistration process.
The 18 Msundwe, Mbwatalika and Mpingu rape survivors have finally been compensated 121.5 million kwacha as ordered by the High Court earlier this year. The court had ordered the Malawi Police Service to compensate the women as some of its officers were involved in the rape. Confirming the payment, legal representatives of the Women Lawyers Association says what remains now is progression of the criminal aspect of the case for the officers involved to face the law. This report by Blessings Kangondi.
In March this year, the High Court ordered the Malawi Police Service to pay the rape survivors a total of 121.5 million kwacha in compensation. High Court Assistant Registrar Madalitso Koswe Chimwaza ordered that the survivors be compensated within 90 days. 3 months after the pronouncement of the ruling, the rape survivors can now afford a smile as the police have finally compensated them. In a statement issued yesterday by legal representative for the Survivors Women Lawyers Association, President for the body, Immaculate Maluza, says the ruling and the subsequent payment of compensation solidifies the fact that violence against women is not acceptable, excusable and tolerable in the country. The statement implores on government to make available sufficient, effective and sustainable resources to reduce and eliminate gender-based violence across Malawi. Meanwhile, the statement says what remains now is progression of the criminal aspect of the case for the officers involved to face the law. The 18 women are said to have been sexually assaulted in October 2019 by police officers that were deployed to quell political tension at Msundwe, Mbwatalika and Mpingu in Lilongwe.
Mid this week, President Lazarus Chakwera described as disgraceful all forms of violence against children within Malawi and across Africa, saying his Chancellor's government is determined to see an end to the vice. The president was speaking during a virtual high-level Pan-African conference on violence against children, where he says countries need to share tools for promotion of safety of the African child. He said it is a pity to see continued violence against children despite countries endorsing international laws on ending the vice. We had this report by Western Guta.
Speaking during a Pan-African conference on violence against children, President Lazarus Chakwera said the country is doing more and has so far amended laws, for example, on who should be described as a minor from 16 to 18 years old. He said that Malawi has a comprehensive plan on the issue, including the setting up of a helpline that has seen an increase in the number of reported cases. He has, however, appealed to African countries to join hands in the fight by sharing tools that can assist the African child to be in a safe environment and the safest in the world. He mentioned of some growing gaps in legal frameworks that need to be worked on, lack of cybersecurity enforcement and inadequate child protection workers.
This is a task that we are determined to see done. We are determined to set the pace in keeping children safe from predators. As the chair of this 46-member group of least developed countries, we are determined to ensure Malawi is an exemplary safe place for children through the continued implementation of the Program of Action and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
Meanwhile, child rights activist Jennifer Mkandawire says Malawi has a long way to go as we have a challenge in making policies workable, as well as lack of resources, which sometimes lead to cases swept under the carpet.
Within the rural areas, there is nowhere to report. If they report at the police station or unit, the response mechanism is a very big challenge because for children to go to court, there is no one to defend them.
The high-level conference focused specifically on the capacity to address violence against children, the progress Africa has made thus far in addressing the vice, and the homegrown initiatives that have been effective in reducing the vice in Africa. Reporting for Zodiak, I am Western Guta.
Farmers Union of Malawi has expressed fear that the country may face hunger in the next year, as some local farmers are expected to face challenges in accessing fertilizer and other farm inputs. In an interview, Farmers Union of Malawi President Fraito Njolomole said the reduction of number of affordable inputs program beneficiaries and the recent upward adjustments of the cost of fertilizer are threatening the coming of crop production. But Ministry of Agriculture spokesperson Grecian Lungu says the ministry is putting in place measures which include pushing for additional funding for the AIP program to ensure crop production is not affected. This report by Winston Kaimira.
The Minister of Agriculture has written all district commissioners in the country advising them to submit new names of Affordable Inputs Program beneficiaries for this year, as it has reduced the total number of the beneficiaries with 1 million. Minister of Agriculture spokesperson Gresham Lungu says this is so because the cost of fertilizer has gone up at a time this year's AIP exercise has been already budgeted for. He, however, said measures are being taken to ensure this does not affect maize production in the next growing season.
We are trying to work out on a budget which was allocated to Minister of Agriculture for this year's AIP. We have been allocated around 140 billion, of which 126 billion is to be used for fertilizer procurement. So it means that the farmer contribution this time around has to go up.
But this has worried the Farmers Union of Malawi, which fears will increase challenges which may lead to reduced crop production in the coming growing season. Former President Fredon Njolomole says most of the farmers that were supposed to benefit from the AIP program cannot afford to buy fertilizer, which is now being sold at around 30,000 kwacha per 50 kilograms bag.
We are also very concerned about this. We know the price of fertilizer has gone up. And it's not only one type. I think all the types of fertilizers have gone up. All the prices have gone up. It's very sad indeed. And looking at the way how things are now, well, it leaves quite a lot to be desired. And we believe the government is going to do something.
Concurring with Njolomole, agriculture commentator Tamani Nkhonomvula said the country needs to consider having long-term solutions on access to fertilizer, such as venturing into the manufacturing of the commodity.
Probably we should start investing, looking at how can we start producing commodities like fertilizer locally, because if we start producing locally, I think some of these challenges would not be there. The other issue that could be maybe a short-term solution is to make sure that the government digs deep in its pocket and subsidize the prices.
This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak.
A new study by Center for Education Research and Training is indicating that about 70% of girls in the country do not transit to secondary school, a factor that is contributing to low literacy levels. Presenting the findings in Lilongwe before the First Lady, Monica Chakwera, on Friday, researcher Esme Kadzamira said literacy levels are worsening in rural areas where access to education is proving difficult. Statistics show that only about 26% of learners in rural areas have access to secondary education. Zuleika Nanguo filed this report.
During the Girls Education Leaders Coordination meeting in Lilongwe, a research fellow of Center for Educational Research and Training, Esme Kadzamira, said trends for the past 40 years show that there has been an equal enrollment of girls and boys in the first level of primary school education, but this is not maintained in senior classes as most girls drop out of school. Kadzamira said the quality of primary school education in the country remains low due to the high teacher-learner ratio, hence the need for the government to mobilize more resources in addressing such challenges.
The pyramid shape of our education system has been like that for 40 years or more, which shows that we haven't, as a country, despite all the measures that have been put in place by government and development partners to improve access and retention of students in primary school, these have not had any effect on the current progression of students in primary school.
First Lady Monica Chakwera said there's need to identify gaps existing in the education sector and find ways to address them. She said it is important to work with traditional leaders in the efforts for the country to succeed in meeting targets of the Malawi 2063 on education.
As government, as Minister of Education, me as First Lady also, I want to help out to say, let's provide a forum, let's provide space, let's provide information, say.
So far, the First Lady, through her organization, Shaping Our Future Foundation, has provided scholarships to 309 secondary school students, including 148 who were street children, as one way of improving the country's education standards.
You're watching This Week in the News here on Zodiac. We'll be right back shortly. Stand by.
To achieve great things in life, you must do little things every day, like the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate. One, wake up. 2, brush up. 3, smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate and give yourself a future to smile about.
We all start differently, but we can all start with the strongest protection. Because some start early, others start late. Some from little homes, others from big ones. Some start together, or all on their own.
It doesn't matter how you start, as long as you start strong. With new Colgate's Maximum Cavity Protection. Now with fluoride plus arginine for 4 times more strengthening power. So that you can give them the strongest start to their day. Colgate. Start strong, stay strong.
UNICAF University, July to August 2021 intake. Special scholarships available at UNICAF University for bachelor, master's and doctoral degree programs. UNICAF University is accredited nationally by the NCHE and internationally by the British Accreditation Council in the UK. Enroll for internationally recognized degrees at a fraction of the cost. Feel safe knowing that your online studies with UNICAF University will not be disrupted by measures for the pandemic. From enrollment to graduation, everything runs smoothly online. Don't miss this golden opportunity. This offer is valid until the end of August 2021. So, apply today and get a free tablet when you register and pay the required deposit. Ring 01755 333 or WhatsApp 0993 907002 for more information.
Feast of 5 things is here.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue with the news. 6 political parties submit requirements to the Registrar of Political Parties as per the new Political Parties Act. Msundwe rape survivors compensated over 121.5 million kwacha ordered by the High Court earlier this year. Vice President Dr. Saulos Chilima admits that Malawians are justified to express frustrations over government delays to fulfill its campaign promises. In sports, Nyasa Big Bullets confirmed that they will participate in this year's Sekafa Kagame Club Championship to be held in Tanzania next month. In the ending week, Vice President Dr. Saulos Chilima admitted that Malawians were justified to express their frustrations over government delays to fulfill its campaign promises. Speaking after touring some infrastructure-related projects in the southern region on Tuesday, Dr. Chilima said this is the reason that construction companies implementing government projects need to add speed in their work, thereby creating more job opportunities for the citizenry. The Vice President stressed this has to be done while erecting vibrant infrastructure. Christopher Sunday reports.
Vice President Saulos Chilima had a busy day on Tuesday when he toured the rehabilitation of Limbe Luchenza Railway Line, Cholo Tegera Muona Road, and the Ruo Bridge in Sanje. Dr. Chilima told journalists that government is aware that Malawians are frustrated due to delays to fulfill campaign promises. The Vice President then called on companies that are implementing government projects to work with speed in order to create job opportunities to the citizens.
Look, there may be those timelines, but some of us are saying maybe that's not good enough. Let's move with a bit more speed. There is so much work to be done. People are anxious and getting frustrated, and they're justified to be frustrated because nobody has got the luxury of time.
He added that vibrant infrastructure is key for the country to achieve economic growth. Nakala Logistics Director Gustav Stein says his company is currently constructing a 72 kilometers railway line from Limbe to Sandama. On the other part, blaming COVID-19 for disturbing their operations.
The works were going fine. We had some delays, of course, on the beginning of this year because the rain season. So we delayed a bit. But the companies they are working with us, they are going on time. As I said, maybe the confusion can be about the Limbe, the Nikaya Mishinji project.
Government and donors are expected to spend 27 billion kwacha for the construction of Cholo Tegera Muona Road and 7 billion kwacha for Ruo Bridge in Nsanje. Reporting for Zodiac, this is Christopher Sande.
Health Minister Kumbize Kandode Chiponda says new evidence shows that 99% of COVID-19 hospitalizations and deaths are those that did not get vaccinated. In view of this, Kandode Chiponda says our ministry is focusing on achieving 60% herd immunity by next year. She has since encouraged healthcare workers to get vaccinated first, as their lives are at risk as they take care for the sick and hospitalized. Zuleka Nanguo filed this report.
A record of 1,010,800 of COVID-19 vaccines is expected within 2 months in the country between this Saturday and September end this year. This is the first time such a huge amount of vaccine doses has come to Malawi. Health Minister Kumbize Kandode Chiponda says priority shall again be health workers, people above 50, those who got the first jab, and people with conditions such as those hypertensive and asthmatic.
Priority will be those working in the health sector, especially in the hospitals, our health workers. Those are our priority, and also especially those who already had the first vaccine of AstraZeneca. So that is what we are going to follow. But also, apart from that, we had targeted those above 50 and also those who have some underlying conditions. And if they got the first vaccine of AstraZeneca, then definitely they need to get the second one.
Social commentator Rafik Hajat says emerging information on vaccine efficiency in Malawi should be a cause for hope for a return of normalcy, thus need to intensify vaccinations throughout the country.
The statistics are very stark, they're very glaring, and I think it is imperative for the people of Malawi to be vaccinated. And I would urge everyone to go and get the jab.
Information that 99% of those hospitalized and dying of COVID-19 are presently those that did not get vaccinated should be a wake-up call for many to see the benefits of getting the jab. According to the Minister of Health, Malawi will have received a total of 1,010,800 doses of various COVID-19 vaccines, including AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer. The vaccines are coming after close to a month of drought that has seen cases and deaths shoot.
Malawians this week also woke up to the news that President Lazarus Chakwera had fired Dr. Chikosa Silungwe from his position as Attorney General with immediate effect. No reason has been given for the dismissal of Dr. Silungwe, who was lead lawyer for the Vice President, Saulos Chilima, in the historic presidential elections case. Daniel Mawawa was on the story.
So what we know so far on this matter is that clearly we can confirm Dr. Chikosa Silungwe has been released. He had signed a 3-year contract at the start of his tenure, and he's only run a year of that. What this effectively means is that government will have to pay him for the 2 years that remained on his contract. There has been no official communication yet. In fact, as of late Wednesday evening, Dr. Silungwe had not yet received official communication, but we understand he had gotten word that he has been removed as Attorney General for this country. And immediately after that, we saw people taking to social media, some congratulating him for the service he's given to the nation. One of his lawyer friends, Kumbo Bonzo Soko, who was together with Dr. Silungwe on Dr. Saulos Chilima's legal team during the presidential elections case, has gone to social media to post Silungwe served with distinction and unparalleled integrity. He can hold his head high. And several other people have also been posting comments regarding Chikosa Sulungwe, who was fondly known in social media circles as Antanga. His tenure of office, for the 1 year he has been in office, it's not been without controversies. At one point, I will raise the issue of the Electoral Commission saga, for example. He had advised President Lazarus Chakwera not to fire Electoral Commission commissioners, and President Chakwera did completely the opposite. And so things like those have characterized his tenure of office, but we are hearing, other than that, they were the two, President and Dr. Irungo, were in talking terms, because immediately after that Electoral Commission saga, President Chakwera invited Dr. Sirungwe to Ntuntama State Lodge. That time when Kamuzu Palace was under renovations. And so the two talked and discussed. We thought everything was all rosy after that, and now here we are. Official reasons we do not clearly know. President Lazarus Chakwera is at liberty not to disclose the reasons he has fired his Attorney General. This goes to explain what is happening behind the scenes and with regards to the impending cabinet reshuffle. We know cabinet reshuffle is imminent in this country. How soon, we cannot clearly say, but our sources are saying the cabinet reshuffle is imminent. The firing or the removal of the Attorney General who sits on cabinet. I mean, we would clearly call this a mini reshuffle in a way, but we are being told this may only the beginning of a more robust and a more larger cabinet reshuffle in the offing.
We now go to sports news. Nyasa Big Bullets have confirmed that they will participate in this year's Sekafa Kagame Club Championship to be held in Tanzania next month. In a statement, the club's chief executive officer, Susan Nyirenda, said the Bullets, who have been invited as guests, will use the tournament to prepare for the CAF Champions League as it attracts top clubs from East and Central African countries. Brett Kanyama filed this report.
TNM Super League defending champions Nyasa Big Bullets are set to make a return to the Council of East and Central Africa Football Association's Kagame Cup after a 25-year absence. Bullets Chief Executive Officer Susan Nyirenda has confirmed the development in a statement, saying that they have accepted the invitation from the organizers. Nyirenda, however, said they want to use the tournament to prepare for CAF Champions League preliminary round matches set to start in September 2021. The draw for the 2021 Kagame Cup will take place on Tuesday next week, and Bullets will likely face teams like Azam FC from Tanzania, Tusker FC from Kenya, Altabara FC from South Sudan, and Express FC from Uganda, among others. Meanwhile, sports analyst of Soccer Africa Austin Otieno from Kenya says the tournament poses a great opportunity for preparations while advising the people's team to gather strong players for the tournament.
I'll advise them to use their real players, let them not come with fringe players, because this tournament is a serious tournament and every team will be coming with their full strength team. So that is, they will look at where the weaknesses are, and then they can also take that opportunity to sign players. So it will be a very, very big opportunity for Big Bull and their squad, and also gauge how those teams from Sekafa fare.
Previously, local clubs like Mighty Wanderers, Tigers, Silver Strikers also participated in the tournament. The winners of this year's Sekafa Kagame Cup will pocket $100,000, which is equivalent to 80 million kwacha. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
That's about what we had time for in this edition of This Week in the News. And before we go, a look at the headlines. 6 political parties submit requirements to the Registrar of Political Parties as per the new Political Parties Act. Msunda Rep survivors compensated over 121.5 million kwacha as ordered by the High Court earlier this year. Vice President Dr. Saulos Chilima admits that Malawians are justified to express frustrations over government delays to fulfill its campaign promises. And finally, in sports news, Nyasa Big Bullets confirmed that they will participate in this year's Sekafa Kagame Club Championship to be held in Tanzania next month. Visit our website, zodiacmalai.com, for more news. This is Sibongile Jambo. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Ndipamba moyo usamalile